Yeah. The fanatic. Well, we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. TFANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what.
Welcome into the Fanatic Sports Show for sports fans by sports fans. It's your boy Coach I, and you know I got Stat Guy with me. What's going on, Stat Guy?
Hey, what's going on, Coach? How you doing tonight?
Hey man, it was a rough weekend for the chickens down there in Columbia, man. But we're gonna push forward anyway, right?
Hey, man, another week of college football to get your hopes up for. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one thing, people, we found out there's more delusional South Carolina fans than the Stat Guy. So if you ever think he's delusional, just check some of the comments on the South Carolina video. But nevertheless, man, we here to talk Bedlam. That's right, Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State, man. To start the year out, man, I'm gonna be honest, I thought this was gonna be maybe a top 15 matchup, maybe, you know, at the worst top 20. It's not looking so right now. Both teams have some rash of injuries and things happen here and there. What you think just on the surface, that guy?
Man, you know, I'm excited. This is one of my favorite rivalries in college football. I definitely think this is a rivalry that gets overlooked. And I think it's a rivalry we're going to miss in the near future as it looks to be disappearing with Oklahoma's departure to the SEC.
Yep. But if you've been following the channel, man, since last year, man, you know when I talk Oklahoma, I got to bring my guy on. Let's go ahead and bring him on air with Mike. What's going from the Air Raid Attack podcast? What's going on, Mike?
What's going on, guys? What's up, Coach I? Glad to be back on. And I know the Stat Guy is not first time on, but glad to have you guys, or glad to be on, I should say. And it's been a while since I've been doing a podcast, period. So, but nonetheless, thank you for having me back on.
No problem, man. It's always a good time. Mike, come on, man. Mike, give me your overall thoughts, man. I know the season has kind of took a turn for the worse, but not the worst, but not what you thought. Give me your thoughts on Brent Venables and going forward.
Well, I think they're going to stick him out at least through 20, probably at least through 23, and I think that if we have another 5-5 season, I think again next year, I think he easily could be on the hot seat. I know this year, I think I kind of nailed it well, not really nailed it, but this year was pretty much a rebuilding. Let's see who still wants to be a Sooner type of mentality. But I don't think he had this in mind. Oklahoma going into Bedlam 5-5 and being blown out of the waters against Texas and Dallas and losing, of course, to Kansas State and you know, West Virginia last week and TCU cremating them, and the list goes on. So tough year for Brent Venables. Hopefully he can get this win, whether it's this week or next week, and get that bowl bid. I'd hate to know our 22-year streak comes to an end like this when it comes to bowl games. But when our little brother comes into Norman, they don't play so well. So I'm kind of hoping that we keep that mentality headed into Bedlam on Saturday night.
Hey, I'm with that too, man. Speaking of, just to wrap up from this past week, like you said, Oklahoma took an L to West Virginia. I didn't honestly, you know, even as not good as Oklahoma's been playing, I thought they would still beat, you know what I'm saying, West Virginia. But nevertheless, they took an L there. Oklahoma State actually gets a win over Iowa State. So it wasn't pretty. They've had a rash of injuries, man. I'm talking about like on the line. I think the center went down. Spencer Sanders isn't 100%. They tried to play some backups, and they not good. And it's not looking good all around. Oh, man. So you watched the West Virginia game.
Mm-hmm.
What was the problem?
Oklahoma beat Oklahoma. Their mistakes this week against West Virginia cost Oklahoma the game. I think now this is the third game that mistakes and miscues and the offense is another. I think they're almost a little bit better than Denver's offense, but not that much. That's not a huge compliment there. But no offense, Russell Wilson. But anyway, going back to OU. No, OU beat OU. That was their issue. You know, offensively, you got to score when you're in the red zone. You can't settle for threes or at least attempt a three. And you know, I feel bad for the West Virginia kicker missing that. Well, not really missing it, but getting well laid on the extra point attempt. Felt bad for that guy, but nonetheless, OU beat OU. They lost it because of OU, and offensively they've continued to struggle. And I think Dylan Gabriel is showing why. He's at Central Florida for a reason. I don't think he's our quarterback come next year. I don't, unless they can get unless Coach Levy can really work with him this offseason, I don't see Dylan Gabriel being our quarterback because this offense is pretty bad.
Yeah, so Stat Guy, what you thinking about Levy and Gabriel, man, not being a good combination?
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely you got to think that with Levy, you were probably thinking this offense was going to be a little bit more explosive than what they've shown. But I'll be honest, I've been, I think, more disappointed on the other side of the ball. I think my expectation going into the year was we were going to see a little bit more of Oklahoma's defense and Oklahoma State's defense, for that matter, with the guys they brought in. Obviously, Brent Venables' calling card, and then Derek Mason at Oklahoma State.
Well, yes, it definitely hasn't been a Brent Venables defense. I didn't think it would be like the Clemson ones because it's going to take time to do that. But, you know, you hate to see, like, I mean, not to bring it up, but Riley's defenses look better than Oklahoma's, and that's just kind of like an oxymoron there, man. But we're talking about the OU offense versus the Oklahoma State defense. So Oklahoma State is going to be missing a lot of people on defense. Evers, after 2 shoulder surgeries, he's like, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm out of here. So he's done. You got Lacey and Ford on that front line are going to be out. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess and Mike, you can talk to this. If OU's offense is actually healthy, you know, regardless of how they've looked up until this point, they should be able to move the ball on Oklahoma State.
I like our chances against on this one. I think on I always like our chance against OSU just because we've had that 90-19-7 record against them. Even though that's meaningless as well. But
yeah,
I really think this year, well, especially with the team that's so poorly offensively productive as OU has been practically all year long, they actually play a team in Oklahoma State that ranks 101st in defense. I think they allow 30 something points a game.
Yeah,
is what I saw that they said. Pretty something. I mean, giving up, I think 160. I think I read 165 yards or 170 yards on the ground per game. So Oklahoma is actually matched up really good against this defense of Oklahoma State hasn't, and OU's not too far behind. Ahead of them. They're 94th in the country. So I mean, they're not too far ahead of OSU, but. Offensive wise for OU, this is a perfect matchup for Dylan Gabriel. Hopefully, we can see Marvin Mims really get set off the ball. Maybe we can see a Farouk, or maybe Drake Stoops can get in the mix. But OU, if they're going to win, they're going to have to, unfortunately, I think, take advantage of what OSU's weakness is, and that's running the ball. And hopefully, we can get the play action pass going. But if Eric Gray can do what I think he's capable of doing, I think Oklahoma wins. But doing it and seeing it could be two different things.
Stat Guy, give me the official numbers on that Oklahoma State defense, man. Oh, my bad. Hold on, Stat Guy. Hold on. Go ahead.
Good looking. He was right on target. Oklahoma State's giving up 30 points a game. Looking at them giving up 166 yards a game on the ground. They're getting blistered for another 269 through the air. They are ranked 101st defensively, but they're only 17 yards a game behind Oklahoma's defense. So it's not like our defenses are not good defenses right now. But, I mean, you look, that 166 on the ground, Oklahoma likes to run the ball. They're averaging over 200 yards a game themselves on the ground. So maybe that's an area where they can kind of impose their will a little bit and remind Oklahoma State that they are the little brother.
Yeah, maybe so, man. And then on the flip side, that Oklahoma State offense versus the OU defense. Oklahoma State's offense, man. Spencer Sanders has been hurt the last 4 games. 2 of those he didn't play. They tried to play, I want to say, they tried to play a Gundy, I think, or they thought about it like he ain't big enough to. I don't even know if that dude big enough to play college football. They played Wrangle, I think is his name. It just didn't look good. So much so that Spencer Sanders at like 75% or less is slated to be the starter. Gundy doesn't give out a lot of injury information, so he's a game time decision. So to say, their receivers are banged up. I think they scored what 20 on Iowa State, if I'm not mistaken.
20-14.
Like, that's not even a Gundy offense. This game is what 6:30 in Norman. Listen. That might not be a good recipe for success on moving the ball. Stat guy, what's the official OK State? Listen, you give us the OK State numbers, but a lot of that is from the first 6 to 7 games.
Amen to that one.
Oklahoma State's averaging 34 points a game, putting up 129 on the ground. You're looking at about 284 through the air. So 450 plus. They move the ball. But like you said, man, it's how healthy is Spencer Sanders? We know if I'm not expecting him to be anywhere near 100%, which is a shame because when he is, that offense is a thing of excitement to watch. But we'll see how healthy he is and if he can still make magic happen.
Yeah, against Kansas State, man, they didn't score at all. And then they followed that up with 16 points against Kansas, and then they finally got over the 20 mark or at the 20 mark against Iowa State. So I'm not expecting either offense to go ham on the other. What you think, Mike?
No, I really don't see this being a height well, even though both defensive wise, both OU and OSU isn't good. I know OU ranks, I believe, 71st when it comes to penalties. They're going to have to calm that mistake down a lot this week. But I think if Gunner's in or the other kid that was in, I don't think, and I think the stat guy's right. If Spencer's not in here, I don't know if OSU even has a chance. I hate saying that as much as I would love to see him in there because Spencer's a great quarterback. He's done great for the program. But if he's, at least I give him, if he's not 80%, 85% healthy, or if he doesn't play at all, I don't see OSU beating OU, and that's not even being from a bias standpoint. I just don't know if Gunner or Gunner Jr. can score enough against this mediocre OU team at very best. But it might be one of those games, the first 1 to 10 wins. Hate saying that.
Could be, man. Shout out to my guy Aaron, man. He's an Oklahoma State fan, man. He's been on a couple of times. He said the same thing you just said. He said if Spencer Sanders doesn't play, the only chance Oklahoma State will have is if Gabriel doesn't play.
Well, we know one thing. If Dalen Gabriel is on the field, we're going to run the ball. That's what we did against Texas. We ran.
So he said he's hoping the cold weather can kind of calm the fans down a little bit. You know, it's not the same when you loose on the adult beverages and it's warm outside. They'll be drinking the adult beverages just to stay warm now, man, because it's cold everywhere. So on to the predictions, man. So Jeff, give me the over/under and the spread on this game. Sure, this can't be about like a touchdown spread or something like that.
Over/under 64, OU's by 6.
The OU by 6. The home team getting 6. Okay. I'm going to start this one out, man. I'm going with OU. And I think I'm going with OU to cover. At least by 7. You know what I'm saying? Because even if Spencer Sanders is playing, he didn't look good last week because of the, like I say, he's not healthy. And it's hard, like you say, it's hard to play in Norman as it is. This is a rivalry game, and you guys have pretty much owned them. I'm going with OU 21-14. Stat guy, what you got?
Hey, man, look, you already know. Ain't no way I'm picking a guy that used to wear orange and purple, and especially not over my guy Mike Gundy. And Mullet Mania, let's rock it out. Now, I picked Oklahoma State to be my dark horse to slip into the Final Four. They've had some bad luck this year, and that's fallen to the wayside. But, man, look, this is Bedlam. We don't know how many more of these we're going to get, and they're going to get over the little brother syndrome. To be honest, the 6 could go the other way, and I'd still pick Oklahoma State to cover. I'm taking Oklahoma State 34-20, going into Norman and coming away with the big dub.
Mike, what you got to say about that, man?
OSU, of course, hasn't won against, or OSU hasn't won back-to-back years, I believe, for the first time since 2001, 2002. So it's been a while since OSU's won back-to-back. But you're looking at this OSU team, and I know this earlier on the previous show, I had Oklahoma State beating Oklahoma in an upset in Norman. What the whole year takes there. OU has 5 losses. 3 of them are in Norman, and you got OSU that's trying to get, as a stat guy said, trying to get that mentality of the little brother. This one's
it's a hard call.
This one's really tough because I wish Spencer was. If I knew for sure he's playing and how healthy, but even if he does play, how healthy will he be? I think it's really going to be the key for OSU. I'm going to go off of that Spencer is going to play, but he's not healthy. Our offense is bad though. Jesus. You know what? I'm gonna have to stick to my guns in the previous show. I don't know. The only way we beat OSU is if Spencer doesn't play. I think with even a mediocre Spencer on that one, I'm gonna say OSU comes out. I'm gonna go 24-18. I think we kick a lot of field goals. I'm going to go 24-18. As much as I would love this, and I really hope OU does win. Obviously, from a standpoint, but truthfully, I think Oklahoma State is going to probably walk out limping with a win.
Hey, there you have, man. Predictions from all of us. Man, I don't think it's going to be a very great game for watching.
No, not at all.
But, I'm going to punish myself anyway. So I'm going to, as long as it's on TV, I'll watch it. But, we want to appreciate Mike for coming on, talking some Bedlam with us. Tell them where they can find you at, Mike.
Personal Twitter on air with Mike, and Twitter for the podcast is @air_podcast. No episodes have been updated. A lot has been going on in my personal life, but hopefully after Thanksgiving we get that back up and running, and maybe we'll make a bowl game. And if so, hopefully we can do a bowl preview against UConn. I mean, hey, who wouldn't want to? Who wouldn't want to watch OU and UConn in the Mayo Bowl or something?
Hey, sounds like the March Madness Final Four. So there, OU fans and Cowboy fans, man, y'all make sure y'all get in the comments, give us y'all predictions and the keys to the game. Hey, for Mike, for On Air with Mike, man, it's that guy, it's Coach Howard, the Fan Addict. We out of here.
We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the Fan Addict, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off they plate?